Hey gang, it's Kara and Dobie Joe. Today we are going to work on page 61, Drunken Sailor, as in what do you do with a drunken sailor. Now, we'll put your treat bag over here on the floor, alright? So you're going to have to be patient. Alright, so Drunken Sailor, let's talk about a couple of things first. Let's talk about reviewing, okay? I talk to you about this all the time, but let's be specific. Come on, jump back up, come on. On page 34 in your book, you get to see all the special treats. Did you see inside the bag? It's good stuff. On page 34, you can go back to that page and review your A, D, and E chord changes, okay? On page 45, you can go back and review your E, A, and B7 changes, all right? Then on page 50, you can review D, G, and A, your D, G, and A changes in the key of D. And on page 57, that's where we introduced the C chord. That was the few pages we introduced the C chord on. And that, 57, would be your GC and your D chords. Let's fix this up where you can be mildly curious about it, but not get in trouble. Oh, that's interesting. No. All right, so I do want you to go back and review those pages and review them often. If you're taking this series with me and watching my videos and you're also working with an instructor, I would ask your instructor to follow up on some of these lessons. For example, like the lesson we're doing today, Drunken Sailor, if there's something about this lesson that you're not quite getting right, it would be nice to have someone write out a few more exercises for you that would help you get Drunken Sailor a little better, okay? That's my only regret when I put this book out, that I can't like be in every page and say, hey, you didn't play that so well, let's do this again, and how about if we do this exercise, and that will help you. Yeah, I can't be there as much as I want to be there for everybody, right? So anyway, once again I digress and the dog is jumping up and down like crazy. We're going to work on page 61. Now, one of the first things we need to talk about is our eighth notes. Remember how to play eighth notes. When you pick an eighth note, a pair of eighth notes, the first note you pick in a downward motion, and on the second note of that pair you pick in an upward motion. Let's go ahead and tune our guitars up while we're at it too. Looks like I'm going to be jaw-jacking a little bit more before we actually get started on this lesson. But you know what? That's what they made fast forward buttons for. And you can just fast forward right through and on up until where you see me getting busy. Come on up, come on, come on, come on. Hurry up, we're busy, come on, let's go. Get up here. There you go. Stay. Okay, so once again, the first measure of this tablature, we've got a quarter note, and then we've got two eighth notes, and we're going to pick those two eighth notes down, up. Okay, so the picking motion on that first measure is down, down, up, down, down, up. It's so important that you work on that in this book because we're just laying the foundation down, and if you wait until you've got really like a big barrage of like really fast notes that you've got to play, it's going to be too late. If you do your homework in this book, working the few times that I have you to play in down-ups, you'll be ready for all that fast stuff that comes up. Let's go ahead and get this new metronome going. This is a brand new one. I'm always trying out new metronomes. We're going to take this down to about 80 beats per minute today. Once again, if playing this at 80 beats per minute is too fast for you, you know what to do, right? You listen to this video, you try to play along the best you can, and then you take your own device that you're using as a metronome or a click track, and you slow it down and you play it along with that until you can catch up with me and play it at 80 beats per minute, okay? So let's play that tablature first. We've got 8 measures total, and then we'll work on our chord changes on this, okay? You ready, Dobie? 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's talk about a couple of things, shall we? Because I didn't look ahead to see that we had that 5 in there. We didn't talk about positions. What would happen if you don't think it through, if you don't look ahead, chances are you're going to get stuck somewhere and you're not going to have the right fingers available. What I basically did on that is I stayed in first position on that first line. 1, 2, and 3, position, meaning that my first finger played all my ones for me, my second finger played all my twos, and my third finger played all my threes. That's what we call staying in first position. Now when I got down to the second line, all of a sudden I saw a 5. So the nice thing about it is I've got these open notes in that first measure of the second line, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and that gives me the opportunity to look ahead, and I see that 5, and I'm like, uh-oh, I better play that 2, 3, and 5 in second position so I can use my pinky on that 5. And then I'm still in second position, and I finished out in second position, okay? So the first line I play in first position. The second line, when I saw all those nice zeros giving me a chance to look ahead, I switched into second position so I could grab my 5. Okay, makes sense? Let's play it together a little bit slower than 80 beats per minute. That felt a little fast for me. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? That was a little bit slower. I'm not sure where I was, but it was a little bit slower than 80. And I think I'm just going to leave the metronome off for a while. Now, the chord changes on this. Let's talk about that. I don't know that I've shown you how to play an A minor chord yet in this book. I've had you playing A minor 7 a lot, okay? A minor 7 is first and second finger like this and this, right? All we're going to do to play a full A minor chord is to put our third finger in on that G string second fret, okay? You're going to notice that all of a sudden you have the same shape as your E chord. So you play an E like this with these 3 fingers. When you play your A minor, you move them down a string, and you start with your A string, because that's your A root note. So whether it's an A major chord or an A minor chord, you're still going to play off of your A root chord, okay? All right, now, so you've got an A minor 7, you've got an A minor now, you've got an E chord that you can easily confuse with both of those, and an E7, okay? Might be a good time to look back through your book and review all of those chords. I want you going back periodically and reviewing stuff. If we get too far away from anything, then we're gonna forget it, and it's gonna scare us because it's gonna come up again really fast. All right, Drunken Sailor. I am going to, at first, I'm gonna look at the chords above the tablature, and I'm just going to play those 8 measures for you, okay? Now, if you haven't practiced going from an A minor chord to a G chord, this would be a good time to turn the video off and practice that back and forth. What I notice for myself, when I play an A minor chord, or an A minor 7, or a C chord, or whatever, my first finger and my second finger, they're always in the same position for those chords, right? When I go to my G chord, these 2 fingers stay in the same alignment. They just move down a string, and they eliminate that string in between them. They pack up against each other, string to string on the E and the A string, right? So you've got the basic shape that these 2 fingers are in to play the G chord. You just have to keep them together as a pair and move them over. And as you're doing that, your third finger is going to come back and grab that 3rd fret on your E string, okay? So that A minor to G shift back and forth should be done really slowly, back and forth a few times before you attempt to play this with me, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to apply our boom diddy pattern to this. When we get to the second line, we've got one measure that's got both chords in it, A minor to G, okay? All right, let's give it a try. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 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 1, 2, and 3, 4, and, remember, you can use these videos, like while I was playing the chords, you could be practicing your tablature and vice versa, right? It's really important to practice playing with the opposite part that you're going to be playing with, all right? Because that takes a little skill too, to get used to keeping in your own lane while you're listening to somebody else playing something different from you, okay? Don't think that that's easy, because that's not. It shouldn't be easy. It's not easy for anyone. All right, let's take a look at the lyric now. What do you do with a drunken sailor? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sing and play all the way through from the beginning of the lyrics to the end, and let's see how that goes. I've got a lot of allergy stuff going on right now, so if I cough, you're going to have to go on without me. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way up he rises, way up she rises, way up she rises, early in the morning. Put him in a boat until he's sober. Put him in a boat until he's sober. Put him in a boat until he's sober, early in the morning. Way up he rises, way up he rises, way up he rises, early in the morning. Okay, pretty sketchy vocals on my part, but you got the idea, right? So please practice this over and over and over again, and back it up. Practice all of your chord changes up to this point. The next time we get together, we're going to start talking about bar chords. Okay, we're going to have our first bar chord. We're going to learn our F chord on page 62, and that's a pretty big step to take. So I want you really having the feeling that you've really got all the previous pages. You've got them pretty much down, right? No questions about them. Can you say that? I hope so. If not, please go back, review the videos. If you have questions that aren't getting answered by these videos and by reading stuff that I've written in the book, find me on social media and ask me. I would love to chat with you and find out how you're doing, okay? All right, so please do the reviews. This has been page 61. Have fun with this piece. Speed it up as you get better and better at it. And I'll see you next time when we tackle our F chord on page 62, okay? Thanks so much. Bye-bye.